Have you ever wondered what the secret is to living a long, vibrant life? The kind where you're still tending your garden, laughing with loved ones, or dancing to your favorite song well into your 90s or even 100s? I'm talking about those centenarians, you know, the folks who've celebrated 100 birthdays or more, who seem to have cracked the code to aging gracefully. They're not just surviving, they're thriving. And guess what? It's not about fancy pills, extreme diets, or luck. It's about simple, everyday habits that anyone can adopt. Today, we're diving into 3 of these proven habits straight from the world's longest living communities, places like Okinawa, Japan, Sardinia, Italy, and Nicoya, Costa Rica. These are places where people don't just live longer, they live better. And the best part? These habits aren't complicated. In fact, you might already be doing some of them without even realizing it. So, let's get started. The first habit: nourish your body with whole, plant-based foods. You know, when I think about the diets of these centenarians, I'm always struck by how simple their meals are. No counting calories, no strict rules, just real, wholesome food grown from the earth. Take the Okinawans, for example. They've lived by a saying for centuries, hara hachi bu, which means, eat until you're 80% full. But it's not just how much they eat, it's what they eat. Their plates are filled with bright orange sweet potatoes, leafy greens, tofu, and bitter melon. Meat, it's more of a garnish than a main course. And in Sardinia, it's all about fresh vegetables, whole grain bread, and a splash of red wine. These folks aren't chasing the latest diet trends, they're eating the way their grandparents did. Now, I'm not saying you need to give up your Sunday roast or Friday fish fry. But what if you started small? Maybe swap one meat-based meal a week for a hearty lentil soup or a stir-fry packed with whatever veggies are in season. Or try adding a handful of leafy greens to your morning eggs. It's not about perfection, it's about progress. And here's the thing. These foods aren't just good for your body. They're packed with nutrients that keep your mind sharp, your heart strong, and your energy steady. The second habit: stay active every day, no gym required. Now, let's talk about movement, because if there's one thing centenarians have in common, it's that they're never sedentary. But here's the kicker. You won't find them running marathons or lifting weights. Instead, they move naturally, all day long. In Nicoya, Costa Rica, folks start their mornings tending to their gardens or walking to a neighbor's house. In Sardinia, shepherds hike miles over hilly terrain well into their 90s. The secret? They don't see exercise as a chore, it's just part of life. So, think about how you can weave more movement into your day. Maybe it's taking a leisurely stroll after dinner while the sun sets. Or if your knees aren't what they used to be, try seated stretches or gentle yoga in the morning. Even household chores count. Gardening, sweeping, or folding laundry. It all adds up. And here's a tip I love from Okinawa. Many centenarians practice radio taiso, a short, daily group exercise done to the radio. It's not about intensity, it's about consistency. So, put on your favorite music and sway while you wash the dishes. Dance with your grandkids, or simply stand up and sit down a few extra times while watching TV. The goal is to keep your body engaged, your joints flexible, and your spirit light. Now, these first 2 habits, eating whole foods and staying active, are powerful on their own. But there's another piece to the puzzle that's just as important. It's something we all crave deep down, yet it's easy to overlook in our busy lives. And trust me, when you hear how the world's oldest people prioritize this, you'll want to start nurturing it today. So, we've talked about filling our plates with colorful, wholesome foods and finding joy in moving our bodies every day. But there's one more habit that ties everything together, a secret ingredient that makes life not just longer, but richer. And if you've ever spent an afternoon laughing with old friends, shared a story with a grandchild, or felt a deep sense of purpose when you wake up in the morning, well, you already know what I'm about to say. The world's longest living people don't just eat well and stay active, they nurture their connections to their families, their communities, and to something bigger than themselves. In Okinawa, they call it moai, a lifelong circle of friends who support each other through thick and thin. In Sardinia, grandparents are the heart of the family, passing down stories, recipes, and wisdom. And in Nicoya, there's a saying, plan de vida, a reason to wake up with purpose every single day. The third habit, cultivate connection and purpose. Let me tell you about Maria, a 102-year-old from Sardinia I had the pleasure of meeting a few years back. Every morning, she walks to her son's farm to help milk the goats. In the afternoons, she's at the local church, mending clothes for families in need. And every evening, she's surrounded by her great-grandchildren, teaching them old folk songs. When I asked her secret, she patted my hand and said, "You stay young by being needed." That's the magic, isn't it? Feeling like you matter. That your presence lights up someone else's day. It doesn't have to be grand. Maybe it's calling a friend who's been lonely since her husband passed. Volunteering to read to kids at the library. Or even tending a window herb garden and sharing cuttings with neighbors. The key is to find what makes you feel connected and purposeful. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking, but what if I live alone? Or, what if I'm not as mobile as I used to be? Here's the beautiful thing. Connection doesn't require perfect health or a crowded calendar. It could be as simple as writing letters to faraway family, joining a virtual book club, or even adopting a pet. My neighbor Harold, who's 89, told me his rescue cat, Mabel, is his reason to get out of bed, because she's always waiting for her morning chin scratch. And let's not forget laughter. Oh, how these centenarians love to laugh. In Okinawa, they gather for regular moai meetings where they share jokes, gossip, and even sip a little sake together. Studies show that laughter boosts your immune system, eases pain, and, get this, can add years to your life. So, maybe it's time to rewatch that classic comedy you love or call the friend who always knows how to crack you up. But here's the real takeaway. These habits, eating well, moving daily, and nurturing connection, work best when they're woven together. Think of it like a sturdy rope. Each strand supports the others. A morning walk with a buddy feeds your body and your friendships. Cooking a pot of vegetable soup to share with a neighbor nourishes both of you. It's not about adding more to your to-do list. It's about letting these habits flow naturally into the life you're already living. Now, I'd love to hear your stories. Maybe you've already embraced one of these habits without realizing it. Or perhaps you've got a tip I haven't mentioned, something that's kept you feeling vibrant and joyful. Drop a comment below and let's create a conversation as rich as the ones in those centenarian villages. After all, we're in this together. And if you're feeling inspired to take the next step, to weave these habits into your days with intention, you'll want to stick around. Because living a longer, fuller life isn't just about what you do, it's about how you approach each moment with gratitude, curiosity, and a little bit of heart. You know, when I first started learning about these centenarian communities, I kept asking myself, what's the thread that ties all these habits together? Is it the food, the movement, the laughter and love? And then it hit me. It's not just about adding years to your life. It's about adding life to your years. Let me explain. Think of these 3 habits: nourishing your body, staying active, and nurturing your connections, like ingredients in a recipe. On their own, they're good, but when you mix them together, that's when the magic happens. You create a life that's not just longer, but fuller. A life where every day feels like a gift, not a grind. Bringing it all together. Take my friend Hiroshi, a 98-year-old from Okinawa. Every morning, he starts his day with a bowl of miso soup and a walk through his village, stopping to chat with neighbors. In the afternoons, he tends to his sweet potato patch. And by evening, he's playing the sanshin, a traditional instrument, at community gatherings. When I asked him how he stays so vibrant, he grinned and said, "I'm too busy living to worry about aging." That's the spirit, isn't it? It's not about chasing youth. It's about embracing the rhythm of a life well lived. Maybe for you, that rhythm looks like swapping your afternoon cookie for a handful of nuts and berries. Or trading an hour of TV for a phone call with your sister. or planting a tomato seedling and watching it grow. Day by day, small steps. My friends, small steps add up to big changes. Now, I want to show you something. These are my grandparents. They lived into their late 90s. And let me tell you, they lived Sunday dinners with the whole family, tending their rose garden, dancing in the kitchen to old jazz records. Were they perfect? No. Did they have aches and pains? Sure, but they never let that stop them from finding joy in the little things. And that's what I want for you. Not perfection, not some impossible standard, just progress. Because here's the truth. You don't need to move to Sardinia or overhaul your entire life overnight. Start where you are, use what you have, love who you're with. That's how these centenarians do it, one simple, intentional choice at a time. So, let's make a pact. You and I, let's promise to treat our bodies like the temples they are, fueling them with good food, keeping them moving, and giving them rest when they're weary. Let's cherish our people, whether they're down the street or across the miles. And let's never stop finding reasons to laugh, to learn, and to look forward to tomorrow. Because age? It's just a number. But vitality? That's a choice. And my goodness, you've got so much life left to live. Now, I'd love to hear from you. What's one small habit you'll try this week? Maybe it's adding an extra vegetable to your plate, taking a sunset stroll, or finally calling that old friend you've been missing. Share your plan in the comments. Let's inspire each other. And if this video resonated with you, do me a favor. Hit that like button and share it with someone you care about. Let's spread these secrets of longevity far and wide. After all, we're all in this adventure together. Here's to you, to your health, your joy, and the countless beautiful moments still ahead. Thank you for spending this time with me. Now go out there and live like every day is a celebration.